Good morning. In the previous lecture, we discussed Laplacian operator. Let us move to the next article, that is scalar and vector fields. Scalar and vector fields. Before going to directly discuss what is scalar field and what is scalar vector field, let us first talk about point function. A physical quantity is defined as a continuous function of position of a point in a region of space. That physical quantity is known as a point function. Let me repeat it. A physical quantity is defined as a continuous function of position of a point in a region of space. Such a physical quantity is known as point function, and the region of the space in which the physical quantity is defined is known as field. The region in which such point functions are defined, that region is known as a field. In general, there are two different types of fields depending on nature of the physical quantity we are talking about. If we are talking about scalar point function in a region, that region will be scalar field. And if we are talking about vector point function in a region, that region will be a vector field. So, depending on which point functions are specified in a given region of the space, name of the region will be decided. That is, it will be a field and type of field will be decided. What I mean, scalar field and vector field. It is a small article. Let us first talk about the scalar field. We consider a region of space. In this region of space, at every point of this region of space, a scalar point function is defined a scalar point function is specified. Every point has unique value of scalar point function. Every point of this scalar field, every point of this region has unique value of scalar point function. So, a region in which scalar point functions are defined at every point, that region is known as scalar field. One thing. Second thing, when we move from any one point to any other point close to the first, when we move from any one point to any other point close to it, there is change in the value of scalar point function. In scalar field, the change of scalar point function from any point to any other point close to it should be very small. Change between these two will be infinitesimal. When we move from any point to any other point close to it, there is change in the value of scalar point function. And this change in the value of scalar point function, when we move from a point to any other point close to it, should be infinitesimal, should be very small. It should not be abrupt. This change should not be abrupt. It is not allowed. Change in the scalar point function when we move from a point to the other point very close to it is not allowed abrupt. This change should not be abrupt change. This change should not be a large change. If we have such a region obeying all these conditions, if we have such a region obeying all these conditions, that region is known as scalar field. Now, in the scalar field, we can have series of surfaces. For example, in a scalar field, we can have series of surfaces. One surface, second surface, third surface, fourth one. We can have any number of surfaces. We call these surfaces as series of surfaces. How should be these surfaces? If you find change in value of the scalar point function from this surface to this surface at this point, at this point, at this point, at any point, we will find that the arbitrary change in the scalar point function between these two surfaces in a scalar field is same. There is same arbitrary change between the scalar point functions between these two surfaces. The same is true for these two surfaces. The same is true for these two surfaces. If we can form such surfaces, such series of surfaces, In a scalar region, these surfaces are known as level surfaces. These surfaces are known as level surfaces. This is a level surface, this is a level surface, this is a level surface. So, such series of surfaces can be formed in a scalar field such that the arbitrary change in scalar point functions between these series of surfaces should be same. Such surfaces in scalar field are known as level surfaces. For example, let us consider the surface of earth, okay, or let us consider the floor of this hall. Let us consider top of this hall. Let us consider top of the first floor, top of the second floor. All these are series surfaces. Why? These are the level surfaces. Why these are the level surfaces? If we find the potential difference between this ground floor and top floor at any point, you will find same change in the value of the scalar point function, and here scalar point function is the gravitational potential. Okay, so such fields are known as scalar fields. Potential is a scalar, so potential fields are scalar fields. Potential is a scalar physical quantity, and therefore such fields are known as scalar fields. This is information in short about the scalar field. Now let us go to the vector field. Again we consider a region of space. How is this region of space under consideration? The region of space under consideration is such that the region of space under consideration is such that every point of this region specifies, defines unique vector point function. Every point of the region under consideration of this space has unique value of vector point function, that is unique value of magnitude and unique value of the direction. Again, when we move from one point to the other close to it, there is an infinitesimal change in the value of the physical quantity in magnitude as well as in direction. There is infinitesimal change in magnitude as well as direction when we move from one point to any other point close to it in a vector field. So the region in which every point of the region is specified with unique value of a vector point function having unique magnitude and unique direction. Such of a region is known as vector field. Such a region is known as a vector field. When we talk of vector field, we are not talking about this level surfaces. We should not talk about such level surfaces. You should not talk about such a type of series of surfaces. Instead, in vector fields, we shall talk of curves. Whenever we are talking about a vector field, we shall consider curves, such curves. You can draw a tangent to the curve. The tangent should touch the curve in a single point. This is a tangent. This tangent may be known as a vector line, or you may call this as a line of flow, or you may call this as a line of flux or flux line. What we do in vector fields, we draw such curves, and the tangent drawn to the curves gives direction of the vector point function at this point. This is the point under consideration, and tangent drawn to this curve at this point gives the direction of the vector point function at the point under consideration. This direction is known as a vector line. This direction is given by a vector line. So you may call this tangent as a vector line. You may call this tangent as a line of flow, or you may call this tangent as a flux line or a line of flux. Vector line, a line of flow, or a flux line gives direction of the vector point function at this point. We can use the same procedure to get direction of any vector point function by drawing this type of curved lines. We can get direction of any vector point function at a given point in the vector field by drawing a tangent to a curve drawn in the vector field passing through the given point. This way we can find the direction of vector point function at any point in the vector field. How to find the magnitude? To find the magnitude of vector point function, let us consider a unit surface, unit area. Let us consider this is unit area, and the vector line, line of flow, or the flux line is crossing this unit area perpendicular to it. If this is vector line, this is the unit area, these two are perpendicular to it. The number of vector lines or the number of line of flow or the number of flux lines crossing unit area perpendicular to their direction is known as magnitude of the vector point function at the given point in the vector field, in the given vector field. This way, very simply, we can define what is a physical quantity. After defining physical quantity, we can define the fields. How to define physical quantity? A physical quantity is defined as the continuous function of position of a point in the region of space, and that physical quantity is known as the point function. The region in which point function is defined, that region is known as a field. In a region, if scalar point functions are defined, that will be a scalar field. In a region, if vector point functions are defined, that will be a vector field. So, depending on the nature of the physical quantity we are describing, specifying in the given region, the field will be either scalar field or vector field. If every point of the given region is specifying a scalar point function, the region will be scalar field. Okay, and the value of the scalar point function at different points will be different. It will have unique values at the given point. The same is true for the vector field. If the given region of space is such that every point of the region is specifying unique vector representing unique magnitude and unique direction, that region will be a vector field. Okay, so this way the scalar field and vector field can be described. It's so simple. Hope you got it. Thank you.